Hey YouTube, it's Steve from San Francisco. Today is Friday, June 10th, 2022. Can you remember 30 years ago, back in like 1992, things were a lot more simpler. Things were easier. There were no cell phones. Not that much internet. Things were easy. I was about 17 then. People got along better. There was no pandemic. There was no supply chain issues. Gas prices were pretty low back then. Look at now. 30 years. I'll give you the history. Now, look what's going on. They had a meeting in Davos. Carl Schwab, I believe Christine Lagarde, George Soros, and they brought up the New World Order, the change of currency, the money system. They're trying to do the computer chip, AI. Yeah, I'm all against that. And they talk about a computer chip that it's about as big as a thing of rice they put in your right hand. I believe that's the mark of the beast. But some people say the vaccine's the mark of the beast. Like, I watched Richie from Boston. That's the only disagree I have with him, that he thinks the vaccine's the mark of the beast, but it's not. It's not. It isn't out yet. The mark of the beast is going to be the computer chip. And, all right, I'm going to take you back to the history, back 30 years. Okay, in 1992, they brought up the New World Order then. George Herbert Bush, the first one, talked about a New World Order. Back then, I remember seeing videos. He was talking to people and he said New World Order. And they started getting the ball rolling then. And I was 17 then, and they would talk. I remember them. I was young then. I can remember people talking about it. A one world government that will be our future. I didn't believe them back then. But you start the last, 20, 25 years, you could see it starting to lead towards it. Like the markets, like the stock market used to be only for the United States. Now it affects it's the whole world economy. Okay? Yeah, the 90s, the financial system was much better. Then it just like in 2008, everything spiraled out of control. And you look at now, 2020, until the past 2.5 years, I've seen some major changes within the last 5 years. Look at the 90s. Not like I was saying, 92. It was much better. No cell phones, no computers. They had computers, but they had chat. I believe they had chat rooms back then. People got addicted to it. You used to go to get together with friends. You used to go to a dance club or go out to eat, like at Abdal's. I remember there was a lot of other places. People used to go to malls. Malls are becoming the thing of the past. They never. People back then didn't have cell phones. It used to be face-to-face communication. And now, that's all changed. You see people glued to their cell phones. Yeah, you used to hang out with friends, go to the beach, invite people, go to the movies. Back then. Now this technology screwed everything up. Then around 1995, I believe that's when cell phones started coming out. I can remember in 97, I only knew a few people that had cell phones back then. Only the people with money. I was living in Vermont then. I only knew like 2 people that had cell phones. Not that many people had cell phones, but I said I was never going to get a cell phone. I ended up getting my first one in 2007. Okay. So, back to this New World Order thing. Okay. They wanted to start tracking people. You know, when you go on your phone, it can tell you your routine. As soon as you get in your car, it tells you where you're going to end up going. It maps it out. It knows when you go to work. Or go to the gym. It knows what you're thinking. Or if you talk about a car, say a Dodge Charger, you end up getting advertisements for Dodge Chargers on your emails, Facebook, everywhere. They send you advertisements because you talked about it or you mentioned it. The cell phone, they can track you everywhere. And that's what the New World Order wants. They want to know where you're at. At this meeting in Davos, they mention, are you ready for a new world order? And I seen videos of it. It clicked right there. Everything that they talked about 30 years ago, it's happening now. They're rolling everything out. 2020, I guess, it was the beginning. So, 2019, December 2019, I can remember seeing a video of, it was on the news, it looked like a sun, like an eclipse, but it had devil horns in the ocean, and there was a ship there. I believe it was on one of the news, CNN, I believe December 26, 2019, and it seemed like it was a sign of things to come in 2020, and I had a feeling 2020 was going to be a time that the world will change. And it has. And there's a guy that inspired me to do YouTube videos, Richie from Boston, and he predicts stuff, and it happens like 5 years later, 6 weeks later. He predicted, it was January 7th, I was at the airport in Salt Lake City, going to Oakland, and he said on January 7th, he talked about Bill Gates and the invisible ink tattoo, and he said, how about they'll pull off a pandemic? Bang, 2 months later, a pandemic happened. And I remember his videos in 2017 and 2018. He goes, watch out for the year 2020. He had a feeling 2020, something's about to happen. And he was right on the spot. I disagree on him on some things about the vaccine, but whatever he says came true, but they banned him. He talked about everything in 2017, 2018, and it's happening. And they called him a conspiracy theorist. Back to the cell phone thing. I remember in 97, people started getting them slowly. 2002, I remember going to malls. I remember they had stations. They had, for cell phones, AT&T. They had tracker phones, whatever those small little phones back then. Oh man, I remember people used to get them, but they only last for a couple of months. They used to approach you at the mall. How about a cell phone? How about getting one? That started in 2002. They wanted everybody to get one to start. That was 20 years ago. Sometimes they bribe you to get in the cell phone. I wasn't going to get one. And I ended up going to the mall. I had a show about a month later. So the guy says, I'll buy you a ticket if you get a cell phone. So I ended up getting one. It was T-Mobile. I ended up getting T-Mobile back then, and that was it. So you started getting more people getting them. So they track you. They track you wherever you go. So they could see your location. So everybody's got one now. And everybody's hooked to their cell phone. That's all they look at nowadays. There's no eye contact. There's no communication anymore. It seems like everybody's turning robots to zombies. So everybody now has one. They bribe people and they are getting one. It's crazy. It's crazy. So 2010, they ended up improving them. Then in 2012, 13, then the smartphones came out. Yeah. This is all linked to the New World Order. They want to track people. Nothing's private anymore. Everything's on your cell phone about you. I predict in about 6 years, your driver's license, your ID will be on your cell phone. Your money, your credit cards will be on your cell phone. Or they say, like AI, your cell phone will be obsolete and they'll be linked to your body. Just like the Borg from Star Trek. That's all I can think of. All right. Yeah, this thing with this New World Order, they want to change the money system. They want to get rid of the dollar. They just want to change the world. And it's going to get worse. You see it. Still, 2.5 years later, this pandemic thing, it still screwed up people. It screwed people up psychologically. Okay. And people are hooked to Instagram or any, they're hooked to their cell phones, they're hooked to anything, entertainment. It's all a distraction. Look at the trial that just happened with Johnny Depp. People, it's all a distraction. Look at this January 6th committee. It's all a distraction. It's all fake. It's all political theater. All right? Richie from Boston says it's the same thing. He says the same thing. He is right about that. Okay. Nowadays, have you ever, when you go to the gym, all right, this is what really pisses me off. You go to the gym, you're waiting for a goddamn machine to work out, and you got people on their cell phones between sets, and they're there for a long time, sometimes for hours, and you're waiting for the goddamn machine. They're on their goddamn cell phone. All right, this is what it is. If you're at the gym, you're supposed to be working out. You should leave your cell phone in your goddamn car. It's just like In wrestling class, when I did professional wrestling, they say leave your ego, leave everything, your personality, your true self in your trunk. That's what I say about cell phones. Leave it in your car, then you work out, because it's a distraction. All right? They're just sitting there texting people. When you're trying to work out, you're waiting and they're just sitting there. They don't even move. I remember back in the 80s, the 90s, working out. There was nobody, there was no cell phones, and people were a lot better. You get out of the gym, work out, no distractions, and you get out on time. Now, people are just hooked. It really irritates me that somebody's just sitting there texting while you're waiting to work out on the equipment that they're on. People are just hooked, and cell phones, it's fucking everything up. That's all I have to say about that. And the music nowadays. They play the most stupidest music. All right, they should be playing, I remember back in the day. All right, how about play some Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Ozzy Osbourne? Those are good for workouts. Dream Theater. There's another group, they're called Destiny's Lab. They sound like Cypress Hill. They're a Christian rap group, and I like them. Check out Destiny's Lab. That's good music. Yeah. And this thing about this computer chip, New World Order, you know what? It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. Carl Schwab, those people, and George Soros, they're no good. They're no good. They are no good. You gotta pray. Don't listen to these people. It's full armor of God. Full armor of God. That's all it is. That's what we need right now. There's so much, but they have too many distractions. Look at the gas prices are up. They're squeezing the American people. And look at the baby food shortage is still going on. Everybody should wake up. All right? Wow. Things are crazy. You hear it on the news all the time. I try to not to listen to the news anymore. It's all a bunch of bullshit. All right. So, I guess that's all I have to say. There's another group I left out. I should have mentioned. They're pretty good. Listen to Striper. Good music. All right. This is Steve from San Francisco. Full Armor of God, and I am out.